G'day everyone, this is Koala OM. Today I present the unused content of Plants vs Zombies. These are concepts that have been scrapped or have been left to rot in the game's files. Let's jump right into it. Alright, so this first plant is pretty weird, the Cherry Hover Bomb. From what I can tell, this is just a cherry bomb that can be planted on top of your other plants at a cost of 175 sun. I can see why this was never used, since you can just save 25 sun by using a regular cherry bomb. There aren't many situations where you'll need to plant a cherry bomb on top of your plants anyway. If you need to, then just digging up the plant would work instead. Next up we have the Iceberg Lettuce. Yes, it was originally considered for the first game, before making its debut in Plants vs Zombies 2. However, in Plants vs Zombies 1 it was essentially meant to be a cabbage pulp version of the snow pea, costing 200 sun. It's interesting to see how different Iceberg Lettuce would have been, since it's a zero cost instant plant now, very different to its original concept. Duplicator Cycler was meant to be a plant that, when placed on a lawn, displayed each of the player's seed packets for the level and allowed the player to click on the plant that they wanted and plant it onto the lawn independent of the regular seed packet bar. After this, it would recharge for 50 seconds before being used again. So yeah, this plant was kind of like a more complicated imitator. The 150 sun cost would make it useless compared to the imitator, since you would just be paying an extra 150 sun on top of the imitated plant, something that the imitator does for free. Another strange plant was the Time Stopper. First of all, how is this even a plant to begin with? One leaf sticking out of a clock means it's a plant species? Anyway, the plant works exactly how it sounds. It stops time. Who would have thought? Obviously this one was replaced in favour of the Ice Shroom, which does the same thing. But the Time Stopper also had another ability. It would instantly recharge all of your other seed packets, and can you guess its sun cost to do all this? 50 sun. That's half of the cost of using an Ice Shroom in daylight, and it recharges all of your seeds. I don't know if it's just me, but this one sounds like it would have been a pretty OP plant. Oh, never mind, it also freezes your plants. So yeah, it's just a tool to speed up your seeds recharging. Okay, I'm kinda glad they replaced this one with Ice Shroom actually. Stinger was meant to be a 125 sun cost ranged attacker that only shot at balloon zombies. Yes, Cactus, but even worse. I know many people consider Cactus to be one of, if not the worst plants in the game, so just imagine a cactus that doesn't even shoot unless it's going up to pop a balloon. Imagine how bad this would have been. If Cactus is F tier, this would have been Z tier. The only thing going for it was that it could be planted above your plants, and zombies walked under it instead of eating it. But these quirks are useless because the plant itself might as well do nothing at all. I will say though, it has some epic concept art. So these next ones aren't different plants, but they're early designs of existing plants that we know today. Here is what Sea Shroom was originally going to look like. Definitely a little bland compared to its final design. This is what Spike Rock was originally intended to look like. This is the early design of Magnet Shroom. Its mushroom is a lot more apparent, but wow does this look unsettling. Possibly even more revolting is Split Pea's early design. It looks like a regular pea shooter was bitten by a zombie in the back of its head, and that's how its mutated second head came to be. As disgusting as it is, I think this one is really interesting because of the context it adds to the Split Pea. Here is some early art for Potato Mine and Chomper. They both look a lot more organic and natural than their final designs. Here's some old and unfinished concepts for Puff Shroom and Fume Shroom. I don't really know what to say about these ones. I'm glad they don't look like this anymore. Hypno Shroom looked like this in an early version of the game. It has way less character than the final version. As well as unused plants, there are a handful of plants who had different sun costs in early gameplay. Sunflower was originally seen with a sun cost of 100 sun, Potato Mine would have originally costed 50 sun, Walnut was 75 sun, Hypno Shroom was 100 sun, and both Snow Pea and Chomper would have been 200 sun. Could you imagine how bad a 200 sun cost Chomper would have been? I'm sorry, I couldn't resist mentioning it. If you stuck around on the channel for a while, you'd probably notice we like to discuss how bad Chomper is. I can see why Sunflower was reduced in sun cost. A 100 sun cost Sunflower would have just slowed down the pace of the game by delaying your sun production build-up. Propeller Zombie is an unused zombie that was probably replaced by the Balloon Zombie. I think Propeller Zombie has a pretty cool concept. Another unused zombie is the Dog Walking Zombie and its accompanying Dog Zombie. This guy has a really long tongue. I'd imagine the dog zombie would get loose from the dog walker zombie and attack the plants. Here's some early art of zombie kids. Ethically, it's obvious why these were removed. The game isn't meant to be about killing children. That would have been very messed up. And before anyone says the imp is the same thing, the imp is not a kid, it's just an imp. Here's the Zomboni zombie without its vehicle or its beanie. Maybe it was originally meant to be a standalone zombie. This is an early concept of the mother zombie. I assume this was meant to cooperate with the kid zombies. These are two early versions of the Jack-in-the-Box zombie. These are both interesting, but I gotta say, I resonate more with the final insane Jack-in-the-Box zombie. This is what the Gargantua was originally considered to look like, definitely more of a gym or bodybuilder aesthetic than the final Gargantua. Here's how the Conehead and Buckethead were originally designed. I find these very interesting since it actually gives context behind why these zombies have their objects on their heads, rather than just regular zombies wearing things on their heads. It depicts a Conehead as a construction worker of sorts, explaining why he may have a road cone on his head, and the Buckethead zombie is shown as a painter, explaining why there's a bucket with red paint on his head. This is one that a lot of you may already know, but the dancing zombie originally looked like Michael Jackson in the first release of the game. He would even perform many of his iconic dance moves such as moonwalking onto the lawn. Unfortunately, this was very poor timing since Michael Jackson died nearly immediately after the game's release. The Michael Jackson estate asked PopCap to remove this zombie from the game, so they did, and it was replaced in the Game of the Year release by the new dancing zombie that we all know and love today. The Limbo page is a screen of new minigames that were scrapped during the game's development and remained hidden lurking in the game's files. However, some tech-savvy people have been able to make the Limbo page accessible by changing data values in the game's memory. Some of the more notable hidden minigames on the Limbo page include Air Raid, a fog level with lots of balloon zombies, High Gravity, a level where projectiles only travel one tile before being pulled to the ground, Dark Stormy Night, which is 410 but with a new selection of plants and zombies, and a variation of Survival Endless for each of the other areas than the pool, which is a Survival Endless mode available to the player. But there is one minigame on the Limbo page that does not function, and that is the Ice level. The Ice level puts you in a regular looking day level with Pea Shooter, Cherry Bomb, Walnut, Repeater, Snoopy, and Chomper. However, no zombies spawn and no sun falls from the sky. This level was actually an April Fool's joke between PopCap in 2008, as they planned on creating a fake ice level area. One of the available early versions of the game actually has some fragments of the April Fool's joke left over. As you can see on the screen, the level begins with frozen zombies. Regardless, the ice level remains unplayable in the final release of the game. In iZombie, there are unused seed packets for the Zomboni and Pogo zombies. Interestingly, when hacked into the game, these seed packets actually work. Albeit, Pogo Zombie just jumps over the brain without eating it at the end, so it was kind of pointless. A lot of you may already know this already, but the game went through many temporary names before finally being called Plants vs. Zombies. These names included Zombotany, which was used as the name for the minigame Zombotany 1 and 2 in the final game, Lawn of the Dead, and Bloom and Doom. Here's a very long list of concept names that were considered. My favourites are probably Torture Garden, Can I Borrow a Cup of Brains, Plant Eaters, and Gangrene Thumb. So what do you guys think about all this unused content? I think some of the features would have been a nice inclusion to the game, especially a lot of the Limbo page minigames. As for most of the early designs, I think the final game is superior. Just before I end the video, I just want to say a massive thanks to everyone for all the support on the Plants vs Zombies 2 unused content video. I find unused content really interesting, so I thought I would make an unused content video about Plants vs Zombies 2, but I never expected it to do so well and receive heaps of positive feedback. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.